Scarlett O'Hara. The very name conjured images of emerald green eyes that sparkled with mischief and a spirit as fiery as her red hair. She was the Belle of Tara, her family's sprawling plantation in pre-war Georgia. Life was sweet for Scarlett, filled with grand balls and attentive suitors vying for her attention. She was admired for her beauty, envied for her charm, and adored by her doting father. But beneath the surface of Scarlett's carefree facade lived a will of iron. She possessed a determination that belied her delicate features, a strength that would be tested in the fires of war and hardship. Little did she know, the world she knew, a world built on the backs of slaves and the comfort of tradition, was about to crumble. The winds of change were blowing, carrying with them the rumblings of discontent and the threat of a nation divided. Scarlett remained oblivious, lost in her world of flirtations and daydreams. She longed for the affection of Ashley Wilkes, a kind but indecisive young man from a neighboring plantation. However, Ashley was promised to another, his sweet and gentle cousin, Melanie Hamilton. This rejection fueled a fire in Scarlett's heart, a burning desire to possess what she could not have. This yearning would shape many of her future choices, leading her down a path paved with both triumph and heartbreak. Scarlett was devastated by Ashley's rejection. Her pride was wounded, her heart ached with a longing she couldn't quite understand. In a fit of anger and despair, she accepted a hasty proposal from Charles Hamilton, Melanie's brother. He was a good man, kind and devoted, but he was no Ashley. Theirs was a marriage born of spite and a desperate need to prove her desirability. Scarlett found herself bound to a man she did not love, trapped in a union that felt more like a cage than a comfort. Her heart remained tethered to Ashley, a constant source of both pain and longing. War erupted, tearing the nation asunder. Charles, eager to prove his worth, enlisted in the Confederate Army. Scarlett, now a wife and soon after a mother, was thrust into a world of uncertainty and fear. She was ill-prepared for the harsh realities of war, for the sacrifices and heartaches that lay ahead. Charles died of illness before ever seeing battle. Scarlett, still a young woman, found herself widowed and adrift in a world turned upside down by war. Gone were the carefree days of parties and idle gossip. In their place stood the harsh realities of survival, of providing for oneself and those who depended on her. She moved to Atlanta to live with Melanie and her aunt Pitty Pat, seeking refuge in the bustling city. However, Atlanta offered little solace. It was a city teeming with refugees, wounded soldiers, and the ever-present shadow of war. Scarlett, forced to confront her own mortality and the fragility of life, found herself drawn to the one person who seemed to offer a sense of stability and strength: Rhett Butler. Rhett was a blockade runner, a charming rogue who moved through the world with an air of confidence and a glint of amusement in his eyes. He was immediately smitten with Scarlett, recognizing in her a kindred spirit, a woman who refused to be bound by convention or defeated by circumstance. Scarlett, however, remained blind to his affections, her heart still entangled with the unattainable Ashley.